you know, Larry was a pretty special basketball player. His work ethic and his professionalism, I think there's not very many athletes that match that. This ended up to be a pretty complete history of Larry's basketball life. And articles that were written, magazines that were published, posters that were produced, just a lot of stuff in here that is hard to come by. You know, a couple of the Celtics have passed away. It's just very difficult to price this out because a lot of it can't be replaced. I remember on a lot of this stuff where I was at, what I was doing, where it came from, the people behind it, and that's why, you know, to maybe market this one piece at a time would be way too difficult. I had a partner that helped in this, and so we produced these lithographs and didn't even know if Larry would sign them or not for us. We had talked to Jill Leone, who was Larry's agent at the time, and she said, well, if you can be at Larry's hotel at such and such a date and meet with some of Larry's business associates, I'll let you know. We show up in Terre Haute and are going to have lunch with one of Larry's associates, and this guy comes in this ratty old Celtics jacket and blue jeans, and here I am in a sport coat and tie. And he apologized that he couldn't have lunch with us, but he said, I want to have dinner with you. And told us that him and his wife would be there, and he took off. And on the way out the door, turned around and said, by the way, lose the sport coat and tie tonight. We had dinner at the Boston Connection Hotel, and no sooner had sat down and ordered, and the maitre d' came over and said I had a phone call. Well, I'm thinking it's from my wife or somebody else. Well, it was from Jill Leone, and she said, you need to be at Larry's house in Boston on January 4th, and he'll sign those for you. I was shocked. I mean, we really hadn't talked with anybody other than Larry's associate there, and that couldn't have been over 20 minutes, and everything was just done. And then we were invited to Larry's house, and so we took off the next day and headed for Larry's house in Boston. And on my birthday in 1992, I was in Larry Bird's house. We did a signing one year with Larry in the back of a shoe store, and I don't really remember why we ended up there, but it was convenient for us and Larry. And we got there, and there was plenty of tables, but there was nothing to sit on. No chairs for us to sit in, Larry to sit in. And so anyway, we went to a store and just bought some folding chairs so that we'd have some place to sit. And I asked Larry if he'd sign that chair, and he did. One day, a ticket to Larry's retirement showed up in the mail. No warning, no nothing. And I'd only been to Boston once, and that was to have the Olympic jersey signed, and then this ticket shows up, and I wasn't even going to go because I figured, you know, it would be up in the rafters of the Boston Garden, and fortunately my wife has better sense than I do, and she said, no, you need to go to this. And so I did, and it turns out that my seat was down on the floor with a couple of Larry's business associates. And I watched a lot of these photographs that are in here that are signed by, you know, Larry and Magic and et cetera, et cetera. I watched that happen. It's time for someone else to enjoy this. This is a handwritten, itemized inventory of everything that's in the collection, and it's what I either bought the item for or what we were selling the items for. So, you know, for example, this section is all of the 16 by 20 photographs, shoes, basketballs, everything's listed. This book is got some pricing in it to verify what the stuff was back, you know, when it was produced and who it was produced by. The rest of this book is certificates. Everything in here backs up the signatures that are on the balls, the photographs. You know, everything is authenticated that way. Got Kevin McHale's jersey, Dennis Johnson's jersey. Here's a picture of Larry signing the piece of parquet floor. So I tried to keep everything orderly and verified. And there's not a much better way of having things verified, I think, than a picture.
Come join Boston Sports Memorabilia June 20th through 30th on eBay for the ultimate fan's dream. The Larry Bird Collection, one of the largest Boston sports memorabilia collections ever, contains over 675 pieces of Larry Bird and Boston memorabilia and over 300 items autographed by Larry Bird and other renowned college and professional athletes such as Magic Johnson and Bobby Orr. This unique assortment of sports memorabilia is the closest thing to a complete history of Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics ever assembled, and has been painstakingly arranged and organized for display over the last 25 years personally by Randy Schweitzer and numerous associates of, and including, Larry Bird himself. This ultimate Larry Bird collection is comprised of irreplaceable, one-of-a-kind items, of which quite a few Randy Schweitzer had signed in person by Larry Bird. Collectibles such as Sports Illustrated magazine covers and articles, various players' jerseys, signed basketballs, Celtics, Bruins, and Red Sox signed photographs and cards, Boston Gardens flooring, chairs, plaques, and much, much more are available for your chance to own now. Imagine being the proud owner of a 1981, 1984, and 1986 championship game ball, signed by the entire Boston Celtics team. Or how about 3 '92 Celtics home jerseys signed by Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, and Kevin McHale? This collection was appraised at $200,000 14 years ago and will be sold in 3 lots on eBay starting on June 20th. And of course, all lots include certificates of authenticity. Randy Schweitzer's distinctive collection is extremely rare and will prove priceless to the right buyers. This auction is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the ultimate Larry Bird fan.